I'm coughing quite a bit.
Don't worry about it. We're live. What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy NXTGEN720, and I am back with another video. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this may be the last video that you see like this on my channel, because I'm taking my channel in a new direction. But you know, it is what it is. And I'll do a video about that at a later date. On to today's video, I have a very, very interesting guest character, mysterious character, say, Insiderx, you know, it's good friends, I guess, pals, but you know, Mr. Media X, and we're gonna, you know, we're gonna talk about, well, he's gonna talk about the DX12, some of that. Don't worry about it. Wait, hold on. What's the deal? Hold on, that's us live coming through right here. I hate when that happens. And I'm back. I'm sorry. He's going to talk about the, you know, the inside guts of what he does know or what he can talk about without giving up too much information about the Xbox One. And it really is a nifty piece of hardware. So what's going on, my man? What do you, so no secret, Microsoft had the big Windows 10 unveiling today, right?
Absolutely.
So what did you take, what did you gather from that?
I think it was a very good first step, or I guess you could say maybe the first chapter in a pretty big story.
So you think that there's more to come?
I know there's more to come.
Oh shit! So what's up? Talk to me. What can you say?
Well, you know, if you followed on my Twitter, I've kind of left some hints that March was going to be a big month. For a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is majority of all the developers out there should be receiving the actual DX12 software development kits by then. There are some out there now, but as Phil was saying today, that DX12 was even going to go to Unity, so kind of confirmed that. And GDC is in March, so I guess that's going to be the event that they're going to do this at. I didn't know for a while if they were going to do GDC or if they were going to do just a separate venue again like today, but geared more towards console. It looks like that idea was probably scrapped and it's just going to be at the Game Developer Conference, which makes sense because, you know, everybody's going to be there as far as the industry goes, as far as third party and first party, and, you know, so forth.
Let me say this, you know, I'm gonna let you take it. From what I heard, that we're supposed to see the first game, I guess maybe built from the ground up using DX12 at GDC 2015. I don't know how true that is. Which that takes place in Europe somewhere, doesn't it? Where does the GDC take place at? Is it Europe? Somewhere in Europe or somewhere?
No. I'm not sure. I think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
my source was telling me that March was going to be the month that the cat gets let out the bag.
If I'm not mistaken, that's where Microsoft posted, quote unquote, first unveiled the Xbox One. That was calling it, you know, Durango, whatever the case, at one of these GVCs or whatever the case may be. So what can you you know, shed some light on as far as the Xbox One and what's going on inside of it? And it's a very special piece of hardware, what you're telling me.
Well, yeah, what's interesting that you mentioned that the original unveiling, because you know, several developers that were there, you know, came out and said stuff like Avatar-like graphics, and they were just completely floored and blown away. And you know, and then you had the leaked Durango roadmap that, you know, Microsoft put away pretty quietly with some cease and desist. A lot of that roadmap is still there. You know, what's really funny is how Durango, as far as the software development kits and, you know, the whole development of Xbox One, lots of people on, like, you know, Beyond 3D and Neo shit. I won't even say Neo guy. They downplayed it and said that, you know, Durango was canceled, that they went in a completely different direction. And I'm here to tell you that never happened. Durango never disappeared. They they kept on that path. Now, things that didn't come about was, you know, if you remember the price and, you know, on the, I'm trying to remember on the leaked roadmap, they were talking about basically a 360 built into the console for backwards compatibility, things like that. You know, those ideas were not scrapped, but the way they were followed through were scrapped. What I have been kind of tipped off at, and we'll see if this comes to pass, because the one thing I have to tell you about inside information is that timelines get changed, plans get changed. Sometimes things get thrown out the window for budgeting reasons, or you know, there could be another company that has similar technology, that has rights to that technology. So, you know, can't come out with the same type of technology because you kind of infringe on their patents, their ideas, their technologies. But the 360 built in, that was scrapped. Definitely scrapped. Now, what's going to happen though is that if anyone does a little bit of homework, there's a technology called FPGA. And without going too crazy technical, because as I told you before, Nanu is a very good person to really break down the hardcore technical specifications. But basically what FPGA allows the system to do is it allows it to run code from something other than the x86 format. So as you know, the 360 was based on IBM's PowerPC. And as you know, the Xbox One, the system is virtualized. You know, everything runs in virtualization, the operating system virtualization. And what FPGA will do, it will allow the system to basically run virtual PowerPC code. It's been in development for a long time. You're not going to see, at least up front, you're not going to see popping a 360 disc in your Xbox One and playing a game on it. It's my understanding is that it's gonna launch with digital purchases. So when you purchase games digitally on the 360, and not all games, I mean, we're not talking about a 100% compatibility thing here, but probably big titles, big first party or big third party titles, but you're not going to see, you know, a lot of the obscure shit that's compatible with this. But you remember how when we had backwards compatibility on the Xbox 360, how each game you had to download a patch and then you could essentially play the game. You're going to see something similar to that, because games on the Xbox One, every game is almost like its own operating system that runs with the actual operating system. So what you're going to see is you'll download a patch, and then using FPGA technology, the Xbox One will not only play certain 360 games, but a term that we've been tossing around for a couple of years now, it's called forward compatibility. What that means is it's not only going to just play the game, but it'll actually enhance the game. This has been tested. There's some 360 games that are being tested right now. I'm not gonna say what who the developers are, what the games are, but you're seeing some frame rate increases. You're seeing some resolution increases, better performance, better effects, and if you want to see the process at work, I'll tell you that a lot of the reasons there's issues with the Halo Master Chief Collection is because that game is kind of like the testing ground for this technology. It is a cross between forwards compatibility and just rewriting the code completely for x86. But definitely more to come on that. The system will, from what I've been told, it will do digital purchases, digital games, big titles, And I couldn't tell you if we're going to get to the spot where you can throw a disc in and play your back library. But I would suggest you buy a large hard drive for the nostalgia that you're going to be experiencing.
Oh, wow. Wow. For us, 360 games or Xbox games?
360 games to start. There's talk of even going back to the OG Xbox.
Oh, wow. You don't think that might be, well, I guess kind of difficult because being that the OG Xbox used a NVIDIA GPU?
No, it has nothing to do with the GPU. When you have FPGA technology, that system can basically become whatever it needs to become to run the code.
Oh, like a hybrid or just change on the fly? Wow. So comparing that to what's known that's in the PlayStation 4, Sony can't come nowhere close to this what they have or what they can do with their system.
No. Sony does not have FPGA technology or virtualization. There is no secret sauce in the PS4. It is what it is. It is brute force, but it's also off-the-shelf parts and technology. So when when you have the Xbox One, which is this magnificently elegant design system that is incredibly capable, but basically, it'll be like you trying to walk around on one leg. It's going to get beat in a race for sure.
Mm-hmm. So for someone just looking out, a Sony fanboy was saying, well, if that's the case, well, how come at launch the PS4 was so much more, it was able to run these multi-plats much better than the Xbox One?
Well, a couple of reasons. A, the launch games, so to speak, the third-party games, were old engines optimized for current off-the-shelf technology. I mean, let's look at exclusive. Look at Rise.
Mm-hmm.
PS4 still has no answer to Rise.
Huh.
Rise is as old as it is. There were some elements to DirectX 12 in Rise. There's also some elements of DirectX 12 in Forza. Not a lot, but they're there. The system has some of the enhancements that are going to get greatly enhanced with the full version of DirectX 12 already built in. And that's why when you look at first-party exclusives, they tend to look and perform a lot better than the third-party and so on. And plus, if you look at the third-party games, PS4 did have higher resolution, in some cases better frame rates. I think that's kind of changing now. But the sheer quality of the pixels better on the Xbox. I mean, I've seen games side by side like Battlefield,
mm-hmm.
and people can say, oh, it's the the Black Crush or whatever is why the game looks richer on the Xbox One, and that's bullshit. There was issue with the black level, there was issue with the sharpness filter, but put those games in now and compare them to the PS4 counterparts. The black level's been patched, the sharpness filter's gone. Do another face-off. Resolution is all the PS4 has, and that's on the launch titles. When developers actually develop a game from the ground up for DirectX 12, Eurogamer's not going to know what to say. Digital Foundry is going to be speechless. And it's coming. It's coming.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I'm sorry. You can say what you said again. I think I had to mute my mistake. Say what you said again, bro.
What I said is when the developers are going to code the game from the ground up for DirectX 12, whether and I'm talking third party.
Mm-hmm.
Digital Foundry's not going to really know what to say. They're going to be speechless. They're gonna tiptoe around articles because it's gonna be no comparison.
So do you think that we're going to start to see some of these games in 2015 or 2016?
I would say 2016. I know that's disappointing, but this year is going to be another year of PS4 multi-platform games with either a higher resolution. Well, I'll just leave it at that, with higher resolution, because Microsoft is not going to force developers to take a high resolution and shit on the frame rate, like Sony's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Call of Duty. Frame rate's clearly better on the Xbox. The PS4 is a higher resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, these are games that are still rendered on old engines that use old technology, and they're optimized for old architecture. When that changes, when they start coding games for DirectX 12, I mean, you know, Brad Wardell said in his article that in some of the NDA meetings that, you know, they talk about how they don't want to say what the real performance optimizations are, because they're so big that they feel like people are going to call them a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true.
Yeah,
you're going to see huge gains.
Yeah, because he was saying, you know, some people were scared to say 40% because they didn't want to take the backlash. Now, you off the air, you was explaining to me about the 12 CUs or something. Could you explain that again?
Yeah. So if you look at the VG leaks leak, you know, of the Xbox One, the whole makeup of the system. And I have to tell you, I'm not the best person to explain this. Daniel would be the best one, but the Xbox One does not work like the PS4's architecture.
Okay.
1 second. Stop listening. Stop listening. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
I said that magic word in my, you know what?
Just say Xbox One, XB1 or Durango or something, or
yeah, I will have to do that. Okay. So with current engines, current technology, current DirectX 11, the Xbox is exactly what they say it is. It's, you know, approximately 1.2 teraflops, 12 CUs that are active, really 14 CUs, but 2 of those are, you know, built in for redundancies. What people don't realize is that the architecture that's really inside the Xbox One isn't designed for these current generation games. And the system, you know, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but the system it's still tapped. If you go back to the, I think it was the Hot Chips, when they were revealing the Pensacola, if I pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry, the DSP processors in there, they mentioned that the system was power gated, that they could, they mentioned it for power consumption reasons, but it's also for other reasons. They're not unlocking everything there from the get-go. And then a lot of the reason is because of DirectX 12.
Oh, okay.
What I'm telling you is when DirectX 12 and Windows 10 hit Xbox One, the system will be at its full capability, and those 12 CUs will actually function as 24 CUs.
Wow.
That's more than a 50% increase in power. That's 100% increase in power.
That's big.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony gets sued for claiming that they have the world's most powerful console. No, you know, Microsoft's not going to do it, but I can see a consumer doing it. I mean, they sued them over Killzone, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sony's always put their foot in their mouth. I mean, if this is true, what you're saying, if this comes out to be true, Sony is not the most powerful console.
Well, here's the thing. Sony will beat on their chest and they'll tout the hardware inside their box. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Spencer said it before, and you know, you've heard it before. It's all about the games. We'll let the games do the talking. I'm not sure if Microsoft's ever going to explain the architecture in the Xbox One, but when you see these huge increases in performance, when you see these games that just they make stuff that's out there now look like last gen, you know, a term that I always say to people is there's going to be a lot of head scratching. You know, they're like, how's this even possible?
Yeah.
And it's because of what's really under the hood. I mean, go back to 360. You know, there was technology in 360 that nobody knew about. That was, I guess you could say, secret sauce. Remember, 360 was the system that could not do 1080p, and that was kind of the mantra for a long time.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, the HANA upscaler was
The upscaler in the Xbox One segment did none. They said, if I'm not mistaken, but can they supposed to be able to upscale to 4K? That they, no.
I'll tell you this right now. There is testing going on right now with 4K on Xbox One.
Oh wow.
It's happening behind closed doors. There are games being played right now that are in 4K. You're not going to see it anytime soon. You know, I share the same view as a certain person I've been talking to on Twitter, who I will keep nameless. But until the market's there, until 4K TV adoption rate's higher, until it's you know, a big deal, because right now it's not. There's no need to bring that technology out. If you want to know what's gonna show the power, it's real-time ray tracing. That's what the system was designed for, and that's what you're going to see with DirectX 12. And you're going to especially see it with games that use the Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 4. Those guys are working close with Microsoft. That engine is optimized for DirectX 12. You know, we've heard about the multi-core utilization aspects, you know, for CPU-bound games, and that's all true. But there's a lot of stuff that's not being revealed yet, as far as new graphical effects, new tricks, and in a nutshell, it's real-time ray tracing. The system is absolutely capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see it first in Forza 6.
Mm-hmm.
I've confirmed it with 2 sources that you'll see it. It will make the lighting just spectacular. You know, I don't want to come out and say this because I haven't got confirmation on it, but you remember the second Ford performance video that had the GT going down the road and the sunlight hitting it, and it looked really, really cool, almost like it was a console game, and then at the end it kind of slid out next to the Raptor and the Mustang there at the end. You seen that video? You there? Oh shit.
Hey. Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear my mic. I'm having a problem with my mic. I'm listening, bro. I got you. My mic I got a short in it back here, bro. They can hear you though. You know what I mean? They can hear you loud and clear. So just, you know, I'm not being quiet on purpose. I'm trying to fix my mic, and I'm having live on air and having fucking technical difficulties. I'm scared, bro. So basically, what you're saying, what I'm gathering, what you're saying is that in the 2015, well, I'm gonna say this, and maybe, like I said, maybe it can lead some credence to what you're saying, you know. But I'm in the, I can't say much. I'm in the what do you call it? The Fable Legends beta, and when I say that is the best looking game that I've seen this next generation, I'm talking about, you know, I know this, you know, it's only, it has like, you know, look like PC type graphics, like the game is beautiful, You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, like I said, it's using the Unreal Engine 4, and the Unreal Engine 4, you know, of course, it's supposed to be CPU heavy. And according to what Phil Spencer said, you know, games that are, you know, PC bound, they're going to see a 50% performance. You know what I mean? So do you think it's going to be a case, like I said, that you're going to see some games coming up that are going to be 1080p, 60 frames a second on the Xbox One, and maybe 1080p, 30 frames a second on the PS4? Do you see that happening also?
I don't know if we're going to see it on multi-platform this year. I would say a big yes next year.
Well, I'm just talking about in general. You know, maybe not maybe.
Oh, in general?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Forza 6 will be 1080p 60. Mm-hmm. It'll have day-night transitions. It'll have dynamic weather, and it will have ray tracing and still maintain 1080p 60 frames a second.
Wow, it's gonna be beautiful.
There will be nothing that Sony has that can answer that.
Nothing, huh?
And you'll see it at E3.
E3. Yeah, I'm like that. You know what's crazy? Because I'm not really into simulation racers. I'm more of the Forza Horizon type. But I think I might just pick that up on GP. You know what I mean? I'm excited. Well, look, like I said, what engine are they using for the, if you know, for the Quantum Break?
Quantum Break?
Yeah, because to me, I mean, what they showed, to me, that looks better than the Order. That thing looks beautiful.
Well, you know how recently someone asked Sam Lake about the technology in Quantum Break, and his response was, we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're using Unreal Engine 4, but Quantum Break will also have real-time ray tracing. Right now, when you see the that 16-minute leaked video from Japan, that still wasn't DirectX 12 with ray tracing. That was DirectX 11, might have been 11.2, with the global illumination, but not ray tracing. Ray tracing is going to give lighting in a game it's going to take it to the whole next level. You know, when you had those people that went to GDC and they came back and said Avatar-like graphics, well, that's what they saw. They saw games with ray tracing.
Wow.
And it's coming. DirectX 12 will be the first step of that, and then Unreal Engine 4. You know, isn't it kind of funny that we've never seen the Unreal Engine 4 tech demo on Xbox One, but we've seen it on the PS4?
Yeah.
It's because there's going to be a new one that we'll see on the Xbox One.
So, look, I guess I know rumor has it that the Epic was supposed to be working, supposed to be working on an exclusive for the Xbox One, I think based off the Samaritan demo or something. That's good, you know what I mean? But, you know, because Epic has been kind of quiet so far this generation. But shit, man, I'm excited, man. You know, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's a great time to be a gamer. So let me ask you another question. Now, being, like I said, because I heard EA and Ubisoft say certain things, they don't expect this generation to last as long as last generation did, you know. But if you're saying that the Xbox One can do all these great things, ray tracing and all this they trying 4K gaming for $350, like, you know what I mean, you think we're gonna see another Xbox system in 5 to 6 years?
I do not. My personal belief is that this is probably the last physical hardware we'll see. And at the end of the Xbox One's life, you're going to see why. Because the future will be cloud. There's two types of cloud. There's what's called the network on a chip. In layman's terms, is very, very fast, powerful CPU processing and GPU processing that's in the box. You know, you hear terms like offloading. You know, there's two types of offloading. There's the offloading that goes into the cloud with the Azure servers, and then there's actual offloading in the system, and that's how all these cool effects get done. you know, you've got the DSPs in the Xbox One that, you know, they do the equivalent of like an Intel i5 processor, single DSP. These things are just sitting there right now. They're not even being used. The move engines are not being used. I mean, the purpose of the move engines is when you have textures that you. Okay, let me try to explain to this in simple terms.
Okay.
So tile resource.
Okay, I know what tile resources are. Yeah.
So how that's going to work is, you know, you're gonna create these crazy maps in this very small footprint of the SRAM, and then the system has basically the ability to store these complicated textures. So instead of having to recreate them again and do all the calculations are already done. So they can basically just call from memory. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then the move engines will quickly move that data to the GPU, so it gets, you know, sent to the display. Right now, the move engines aren't doing shit. They're
just sitting there. They know. Okay. So let me ask you another question. So do you think Gears of War 4 is gonna use Unreal Engine 4?
I do. I do think it'll use Unreal Engine 4. I think when that game gets showed, which will probably be at next year's E3.
You don't think they're gonna show none of it this year, E3? Wow, that'd be.
You know, that's one. There's not a lot of information out there, even on like inside sources. I could see Microsoft doing a quick teaser and maybe throw up the logo at the end.
They did that last year. Shit, they gotta give us more than that, man. Come on now, or CGI or something.
Now, this year is going to be about Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I bet this one guy, Sony fan, that I believe that Tomb Raider is going to look better than graphically better than Uncharted.
That's going to shit all over Uncharted.
Yeah,
I've been saying it for a while. I mean, Tomb Raider is being built from the ground up for DirectX 12. You know, when Phil said that, you know, for games to really take advantage of DirectX 12, it's got to be from the very beginning stages coded for DirectX 12, and that's Tomb Raider.
Wow.
They're putting a lot of money and a lot of manpower behind that game, and it's being done by Crystal Dynamics, but it's a first-party title. I mean, Microsoft's treating this like their own baby, and when it comes out, I mean, Uncharted is going to be 1080p, 30 frames a second. I think Naughty Dog's already hinted to it.
Yeah, they said that already. Yeah.
Because once again, you know, they showed something to D3 that was total bullshit and not capable of doing it.
And you know what? Again, and I know I said I was to stop doing this, but to me, you know, honestly, and it's one of the problems that I had with Sony throughout the years, that when Sony unveiled their games, they look so good. But when they come out, it look nothing like what they unveiled. You know, games are supposed to look better as time goes on. They clean them up, you know, without the pop-ins, better textures, lighting and stuff. But Sony games at unveiling, they look their best, like they're on the showroom floor, and when they look nothing like they launched. I hate that about Sony, and they do that with all their big games. They did it with Infamous Second Son. That got it groundbreaking. They did it with The Order. What else? Uncharted. That, you know, when they turned around, they looked nothing like what they first showed us. You know, they do that with, you know, they taking you back to E3 2005 when they showed the Killzone footage and the Motorstone footage. Well, none of that shit done in real time. It wasn't none of that shit done on specification on the PlayStation 3. Like Sony always, you know, they always overpromise and, you know, under-deliver. Shit, I did a video yesterday, you know, they said, you don't ever leave any proof, so, you know, I went, you know, Googling around. Fucking Ken Kugaragi was claiming last generation that the PS3 would be able to achieve 1080p, 120 frames per second. But he said the problem was they didn't have any TVs at the time that, you know, that can keep up with the PS3. Like, Sony's always making some outlandish claims, man. You know, always, man. You know, but I won't get Microsoft. Microsoft said let the games speak for themselves. So, you know, so at this point right now, after Microsoft showed this whole Windows 10, I'm loving the ecosystem. And like I said, that's brilliant for them because I think they're gonna sell a lot of Windows tablets with that shit there. You know what I mean? Just being honest with you, you know, because you got, you know, dudes now that weren't even interested in the Windows tablet. You know what I mean? That might have been the iPad killer right there. You can, you know, use your Xbox One controller and play actually Xbox One games on a 13-inch screen. Like that's gonna be sick. You know what I mean? But anyway, like I was saying though, what do you think the pressure's on now, Microsoft or Sony?
I'm sorry, what was the last part of that question?
What do you think the pressure is on now, Microsoft or Sony?
You know, Microsoft still has pressure on them. I mean, because of the way they're going about this. I mean, they're just showing a little bit at a time, and they're still the underdog. I mean, you don't see any articles coming out, you know, Sony's 50% power proven false, or, you know, Xbox One all of a sudden is a 3 teraflop machine.
Yep.
None of that's happening yet. And I say yet because the best part is yet to come. When the architecture is really revealed, what the system really is capable of, there's going to be a lot of tears, I can tell you that. And then the pressure will be on Sony. And what happens if you put pressure on a company that has no money? They just fold up and die, basically.
Well, and, you know,
my prediction is Sony's gaming division is gone by 2018.
You know what is crazy? When I first started doing YouTube, and I forgot what hell I got the story from, that Microsoft was in talks, you know, to buy the PlayStation division. But the father of the PlayStation brand, Ken Kugaragi, he was opposed to working for, you know, what's the American company or whatever the case may be. Microsoft, you know, it's no secret. Also, Microsoft was also trying to buy Nintendo. You know what I mean? But I don't know what Sony, the way that they're going. I don't think they're going to be around for 2 years. They keep losing money the way that they are. You know.
No, I agree. You know, it's interesting if you give someone enough rope, they'll usually hang themselves, and this is definitely a case of that. You know.
Yeah, I think that they kind of back themselves in the corner. All that 1080p, get used to 1080p, 60 frames a second, and now all their games, all their games are coming out, you know, and suffering from frame rate. Instead of them just saying, you know what, hey, fine, bring the game down to 900p, or give it a dynamic resolution. That means when there's a lot going on the screen, drop it down to 900p or whatever, but leave it at 60 frames per second, you know. But they hold 1080p, like I said, you know. Even like I said, by them going with the GDDR5, but it's fast. It's really, and it does wonders for your GPU. But I know it causes latencies. You know, it slows down your CPU. And the biggest problem people have with the PlayStation 4 hardware is their very, very anemic CPU. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what you will never see a game probably like Sunset Overdrive with all those enemies on the screen and you know, locked it without having massive slowdown, you know what I mean?
Probably gonna be like 15 frames a second.
Yeah, you know.
Well, you know, Sony's using regular Jaguar chips, and they really can't overclock them because they put the
heater supply
power brick inside the system.
You know, hey, bro, you know what I said that? I said, you know, here it is, Microsoft giving developers, you know, access to another core, whatever the case may be. But like I said, even with the DX12, it's designed to make the system run even cooler. But you know, and people complained about the power brick, but Sony was already having problems with the PS4 overheating, and they got the power supply inside the goddamn console. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's, you know what I mean. Well, what's stopping Sony from overclocking their machine? The power supplies inside the goddamn console. It's already a closed environment. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers already overheating. So what you see is what you get. Like I said, where I figured this with the PlayStation 4, it was meant to come out easy to program for at first, and you get your yields up front, and that's it. or where's the Xbox Ones that continue to grow, continue to get stronger, and continue to evolve, you know? Like, I can't wait to see where the Xbox One ends up 3 years from now, you know what I mean? The shit just going back to when the 360 came out, and you know how we had the orange blades, and you know those in 2005 the little orange boxes and shit, and where it ended up where the Xbox 360 interface is now. Like I said, I can't wait, and I'm very excited about that, man. You know, at the end of the day, makes you know feel good about being the Xbox One, you know. So you know, but like I said, at the end of the day though, but if like I said, like yeah, first of all, like I said, thank you for coming by the show. You know, you was kind of skeptical about coming before. I told you, cool, man. I ain't really with that ambush journalism. I don't care about your sources. Just talk to me, man. You know what I mean? But like I said, I thank you for coming by. And anytime you want to add something new, any more leaked information come out, you know what I mean? You're more than welcome to come on the show. Now you know I ain't gonna bite you. You ain't gotta be scared of me, right, man? Cool dude, right? Ray laid back environment, right?
We're good.
Yeah, they don't ask me what you kept saying. No, I'm not gonna take you any resource. You know, I don't care about that. That doesn't do nothing for me. Anyone's fucking, you know, sources. I don't care about that shit. Just explain to me what you know. That's the juicy part. Not who said it, but you know what's going on inside the box. And like I said, you know, the Xbox. Like I said before, think about it. And you know, I know there's a lot of mumbo jumbo tech talk today, and it may have went over a lot of you guys' heads. Just think about it like this, and I'm gonna put this in layman's terms. Sony spent a little more than $400 million developing the Xbox, developing the PlayStation 4. Microsoft spent over $2 billion. Think about it, okay?
Hey, I'll add to that. Microsoft spent $350 million on just the controller.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So you know, at the end of the day, think about it. You know, you get what you pay for. When I say, you know, I'm not saying that the PS4 is a shitty console. It's just not really built for the future. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sony doesn't, you know, even though the PS4 doesn't use DirectX, they have their own version of Open, whatever hell, GPL or whatever. But that's the, you know, DirectX is the industry standard. You know what I mean? And you know, you guys were making. Well, Phil said it wouldn't be the big of a. Like I said, you do realize, like I said, they were under, you know, NPDs, a lot of things they couldn't talk about, and a lot of things they couldn't reveal. You know what I mean? And just going.
Can I add to what you just said there for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
And I've said this on Twitter. When Phil said it's not going to be a massive change, he's not talking about the capability of the system. He's talking about the developer environment. What I mean by that is the Xbox launched a year early. I mean, they had to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
The system wasn't ready. The tools were shit. The SDK was shit. Developers struggle and they've done nothing but complain. But now the tools are improving. Each SDK has some new trick, some new optimization. The December one was definitely the better management of ESRAM. It allows them to do compute in ESRAM if they want. The tools are improving, so when DirectX 12 gets here, it's going to be a natural progression for developers. It's not going to be a big change. But Phil also said it will unlock more capability for the devs.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hint. It is going to, I'm just going to put it out here in black and white. With Windows 10 and full DirectX 12, the X1 will be close to 100% more than what it is now. When you have all the offloading capability in the chip, it will be double what it is now. Mm-hmm. So we're talking, you know, overall the performance is 3 times of the PS4. And people can laugh all they want about it, but we're starting to see it happen. And this year, you'll see a lot of that. I can tell you guys, March will be big. You're going to see DirectX 12. You're going to hear about current games that we have now. I don't know if it's all third party or first party or what, but developers could easily, if they want, optimize a game that we already have for DirectX 12 and get a 50% increase in performance. completely up to the devs. There's two ways to utilize DX12. It's patch your existing game for increased performance, or build it from the ground up for not only the increased performance, but these truly next generation graphical rendering tricks like ray tracing, better physics, better particles, better frame rates, higher resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Going to see that in the future. I think in March, though, we're going to probably hear a little bit about what DX12 does to what we have now, and probably see our first real DirectX 12 game. But I think the big jaws are going to drop at E3, and it's going to start with Forza, and it's going to be basically 2 hours of just non-stop jaw hitting the ground. Sony ain't going to have shit to answer back, and it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait.
Right. Well, like I said, man, well, at the end of the day, he said, we shall see, we shall see. But on that note, like I said, I thank you for coming by, explaining, what you could and what you can. And thank you guys for watching. I had 3 live shows today, but we appreciate it. Like I said, if anything else comes up, any more leak stuff, I'll bring my man back on the show. Take care, guys. God bless. Bang, bang.